Welcome to another video of Food Nourish Deep Dives, the videocast of foodnourish.net, where we explore topics like health, food, supplements, and alternative approaches to health and wellness. Today, we're going to tackle a problem I think a lot of us know all too well. You get your 8 hours, but you wake up feeling completely drained. That feeling, it's a huge clue that the number of hours isn't the issue, it's the quality of those hours. So today we are diving deep into the science of what's called deep sleep, and I'm going to give you 15 actionable ways to get more of it starting tonight.
Right? It's just the most frustrating feeling. The alarm goes off, your head feels like it's full of cotton, your body is aching, and you're thinking, wait a minute, I did everything right. I went to bed on time. Well, it turns out that just being in bed doesn't automatically equal restorative sleep.
And that's the whole game right there. If you are waking up tired day after day, we have to stop counting the hours and start looking at the kind of sleep you're getting. Because the real magic, the part that actually makes you feel rested, happens in a very specific phase of sleep.
So to fix this, we've got to understand what we're actually aiming for. Let's talk about this golden hour of rest, what deep sleep actually is, and why it's pretty much the holy grail for your body and your brain's recovery process. Okay, so what is it? Deep sleep, which scientists call NREM Stage 3, is when your brain activity just slows way down. This isn't just passive rest. Think of it like a highly efficient pit crew that comes out while you're powered down to do all the most important maintenance work on your entire system. You know, you don't just fall asleep and stay in one state all night. You actually cycle through different stages. And look at this chart. Deep sleep, the part we're talking about, only makes up about 15 to 25% of your total sleep time if you're a healthy adult. That is a really small window to get all that critical work done, which means every single minute of it counts.
And here's why that little window is so incredibly important. This is when your body releases growth hormone to repair your cells and muscles. It's when your brain literally activates its own private cleaning service. It's called the glymphatic system, to flush out all the toxic gunk that builds up during the day. This is also when you lock in memories, regulate critical hormones, and beef up your immune system. If you don't get enough deep sleep, these things, well, they just don't get done properly.
All right, so how do we get more of this good stuff? Let's get right into the playbook. We're going to walk through a whole bunch of science-backed strategies that you can start using to take back your energy.
First things first, the absolute foundations. Your body craves routine. Going to bed and waking up at the same time, and yeah, that includes weekends, it stabilizes your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm. And then, as soon as you can after waking up, get about 10 or 15 minutes of direct sunlight. That sun exposure acts like an anchor for your clock. It tells your body to produce cortisol to wake you up, and get this, it starts a countdown timer for your brain to release melatonin, the sleep hormone, at the right time that evening.
Okay, next up, your bedroom. You've got to turn it into a sleep sanctuary. The 3 pillars here are super simple but so effective. Keep it cool, make it pitch black, and keep it as quiet as possible. These aren't just preferences, they are powerful biological signals that tell your brain it's time for deep, restorative rest. Let's talk temperature, specifically. The sweet spot is somewhere between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or 18 to 20 Celsius. Why? Because to fall into a deep sleep, your body's core temperature actually needs to drop a little bit. A cool room just helps that process happen faster. What you eat and drink, and maybe more importantly, when you do it, has a massive, massive impact on your sleep. Try to finish your last big meal at least 2 to 3 hours before you hit the hay. That way your body isn't working overtime on digestion when it should be resting. And it probably goes without saying, but things like caffeine, nicotine, and even alcohol, they're notorious for sabotaging deep sleep.
Let's zero in on caffeine for a second, because it's tricky. Caffeine has a half-life of about 6 hours. So what does that mean? It means if you have a coffee at 4 p.m., half of that caffeine is still active in your system at 10 p.m. That's why the golden rule is to cut off all caffeine at least 8 hours before you plan to go to sleep. And hey, speaking of things that can support your health journey, you can find some really great deals on high-quality wellness products and supplements over at foodnourish.net/deals. We've got discounts from amazing brands like Perpetua Life, iHerb, Source Naturals, Nootropics Depot, and BioOptimizers. The link is right there in the description for you.
Now, exercise is fantastic for sleep. Getting some daily, moderate movement builds up something called sleep drive, which is basically your body's physical demand for deep, restorative rest later. But timing is everything. A really intense, vigorous workout too close to bedtime can actually backfire by jacking up your heart rate and stress hormones, making it harder to wind down. So maybe keep those tough workouts for the morning or afternoon.
This next one is huge. You need to create a buffer zone between your busy, chaotic day and bedtime. The blue light from our phones, our TVs, our computers, it actively suppresses melatonin. So put all screens away 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Replace that scrolling time with a consistent calming routine. Maybe read a real book, do some gentle stretching, or practice a simple breathing exercise like the 4-7-8 method. This is how you signal to your brain that it's safe to power down.
Here's a cool, kind of counterintuitive tip for you. Take a warm bath about 90 minutes before bed. And here's the science behind it. It's not actually the warmth of the bath that makes you sleepy. It's the rapid drop in your core body temperature after you get out that sends a powerful signal to your brain saying, hey, it's time for sleep.
So what happens if you're doing all this stuff, but you're just lying there, eyes wide open? Get out of bed. Seriously. Lying there, tossing and turning, just trains your brain to associate your bed with anxiety and frustration. Go to another room, do something calm in very dim light, and only come back to bed when you genuinely feel sleepy again.
Now, it is really important to say that sometimes, no matter how perfect your habits are, poor sleep isn't just about your routine. Sometimes it's a symptom of an underlying medical condition. So let's quickly cover the red flags that mean it's probably time to have a chat with your doctor.
Okay, if you or your partner notice that you're snoring really loudly, or even gasping for air in your sleep, that could be a sign of sleep apnea. If you have this overwhelming urge to move your legs at night, that might be restless leg syndrome. And if you're dealing with insomnia that just won't quit, or you're physically acting out your dreams, please don't just try to power through it. These are signs that really need a professional look. And just to put this into perspective, it's estimated that 39 million adults right here in the US have sleep apnea, and a huge number of them have no idea. These conditions aren't just about feeling tired, they have really serious health consequences. But the good news is, they are absolutely treatable. Wow, okay, we have covered a lot of ground here. But listen, the journey to better sleep is not about doing all 15 of these things perfectly starting tomorrow. It's about taking that first, simple, manageable step tonight. If you're feeling a bit overwhelmed by all this, just remember these 3 words. These are the pillars: schedule, environment, routine. If you can just nail down a consistent schedule, optimize your environment to be cool, dark, and quiet, and create a simple pre-bed routine, you will get the biggest bang for your buck, guaranteed.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. Looking back at everything we just talked about, what is the #1 strategy that you are going to commit to trying tonight? Go ahead and let us know down in the comments.
If you want to learn even more, definitely check out the full resource article that we've linked for you in the description. If you found this helpful, please give the video a like. It really helps us grow the channel and keep delivering these deep dives on health. And finally, make sure you subscribe so you never miss another episode. Thanks so much for watching, and sleep well.